Hey everybody, it's Josh Ellsworth, and we are live here on August 28th at 12:30 Eastern Time because we have some exciting news that we're going to share with you here in just a moment. So I know we are broadcasting in many different places and sharing this stream across to our different groups across Facebook. And I have a special guest today, Dave Connor, that will be joining me in just a moment to help make this announcement. But what I wanted to do is just welcome you into all of our viewing audiences. We're broadcasting today to the Transfer Express Facebook page, also the YouTube channel, the LinkedIn page, over on Instagram, and as well as into our Heat Press for Profit and Easy Prints dealer Facebook group. And so we have some exciting news for you, and that's why we wanted to broadcast. And I don't want to announce it quite yet because I know there's a lot of people who wanted to hear this announcement, but I promise I won't make you wait long. I'm going to make you hold for just a couple minutes while you check in and tell me who you are and where you're watching from. And then we are going to share all of the details around this exciting news, which is a promotion, but this just isn't any promotion. I've said I've been with Stalls for about 23 years now, and this is the best promotion we have ever run. So you're going to want to hang on the line and get all the details about this. Should take about 10 minutes with you to share the details once we get going here in another moment. But again, we have lots of friends watching, so good to see you all. Courtney joining us from Texas. We have Roseanne from California. Kim, always great to see you. I see you at Printing United in Las Vegas here in a couple weeks, Kim. Wondering, but thanks for joining us live here. We have Craig that's watching from New Jersey. We also have Todd watching from Oregon. Hey, Todd, good to see you. We have friends from Pennsylvania, where I'm broadcasting from. Also, Michigan, where Stalls is headquartered, all the way to the UK, to Canada, to Baltimore, to Massachusetts, to Utah, Massachusetts again, Kentucky, Delaware, Washington. Wow. Buffalo, New York, good to see you, and Wisconsin as well. So we have quite the collection of customers on the line. Actually, nearly 100 people joining the live broadcast right now, and more still logging on to hear our latest announcement. So we are excited for everybody to join us for some special news. But let's go ahead and get into it. Dave will be joining me momentarily. He's having some login issues. Of course, that would happen, and he is logging in right now. So he is getting connected, working on connecting his computer, and then we're going to add him to the stage. Kim, I can't wait to see you at Printing United in the apparel zone with our good friend Jay. Excellent. And Dallas, of course, is in the house. And hey, I'll be in Fort Worth. If you have never attended the Impression Show in Fort Worth, I'll be in Fort Worth as well as our whole team in October. So lots of exciting stuff. We don't come to Nebraska, but maybe we should. I've never been to Nebraska, Cynthia, but would like to go sometime. So we're adding Dave to the stage right now. Dave, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. How you doing, Josh?
Good, good. I've kept everybody at bay. We have well over 100 viewers live right now. We've welcomed everybody, and we're excited to welcome you. Hopefully you're not sweating too much from your internet connectivity issues. Are you good?
Nope. As long as I'm coming through, no sweat. No, it is a little hot with all the heat presses around, you know.
Yeah, yeah. And so why do we have so many heat presses on today, Dave?
Well, because heat printing is the hottest way to decorate apparel, right? And I think we all know that with everybody hanging out here. But the big news is, everybody ready? Is everybody sitting down?
Yeah, I think. Well, I am. I know that. I don't know if everybody else is, but I am.
Because you either should be sitting down or in front of a computer for this one. Are you guys ready?
Let them have it, Dave.
All right. The biggest deal in the history of heat presses is going on right now. It's live right now through September. So any purchase of a heat press, just like this auto clam, or you might see the handle of the craft press here, this A to Z press, any purchase of a heat press will get the value of the heat press added to your account for free transfers. So custom transfer credit added to your account in the price of the heat press up to $2,000. Buy an auto clam, that's $1,950 of free transfers added to your account, and you have until way into 2025 to use them. So it's not like you have to use all these credits in 1 month. No, you have till the end of May of 2025 to use all of these account credits. So it is just the absolute largest deal I think I've ever heard of. Josh, have you heard of a bigger heat press deal ever?
Yeah, no, I was just sharing that. Like we've done some promotions, and this promotion's coming to you all exclusively from Transfer Express. So I want to make that clear because I know some people get confused across the various stalls brands. This is a Transfer Express only deal, and I'm pretty sure Dave is in our Transfer Express location. So maybe the accountants tried to pull the plug on the internet there, so we couldn't announce this deal. I don't know.
It's possible.
What's really great about this one is it's really a $2,000 max credit, but it is the equal value to heat press. And so there's a lot of details to go through. We're going to link to the deal so you can read all of those in case Dave and I don't recite them 100% to the T. You can go to the website to get all the facts and figures. But the basics are this. Any heat press that you buy from the Transfer Express website or through the Transfer Express phone line from now, this moment, as of this morning at 8 a.m. Eastern time, through the end of September, you are going to get the equivalent value of that press up to $2,000 in transfers. Okay. And it's not just transfers and stock transfers coming to you, it's custom transfers. So basically here's what you do. Let's talk about the autoclam in the back. Okay. So accessories aren't in this deal, just the price of the press. So the autoclam without the caddy that can go on your tabletop, you can always add the caddy to your purchase if you like. But that autoclam at the 16 by 20 inch size that Dave's sitting in front of sells for $1,950. That's the manufacturer suggested retail price. That's what we sell it for. So if you add that to your cart, you will get, once the press ships and invoices, $1,950 in your Transfer Express account that will automatically be applied to any custom transfer order that you purchase, whether that's our Ultracolor Max direct to film transfers, whether that's our industry leading goof-proof custom screen printed transfers, any transfer type, reflective, Dave, you know the whole list. You will get
Pro,
Ultracolor Pro, all of them, all the custom transfers. You will be able to redeem that money, and you don't have to redeem it in one purchase. Like if you have a $100 order here, $50 order here, a $300 order here, that credit will be applied until basically you deplete it, or until May 30th, 2025, which any unused credits at that point will be null and void. And so, again, the best deal you can possibly get. What happens, Dave, if somebody wants, like, hey, they've had an autoclam and they've been wanting to move to, let's just say, the latest dual air fusion with the Pro Place IQ that is the MSRP of $99.95. What happens at that point with the credit?
So you would max out at $2,000. So you would effectively getting 20% of the purchase price of that, I mean, absolutely incredible piece of innovation in heat printing technology, but you would be getting 20% of that back in custom transfers. So it maxes out at that $2,000 of account credit with that purchase. So that is still, that's a ton of custom work. And if you're looking at picking up a heat press, if you've been researching into getting one, you know, there is just no better time than right now. Because if you look at it, you're going to mark up those transfers as a decorator. So this is a way to help boost your capabilities, you know, get started. If you're looking at getting started or picking up an additional press, this is the time to scale, grow, expand, and really to build out that heat press department of your dreams.
100%. Yeah. And so I want to take some reactions and questions. These are awesome reactions. Thanks so much, guys. We were hoping you'd be excited as we were about this. Pretty much everybody that worked in the marketing department on this deal is like, hey, I'm going to buy a heat press with this deal. So the question from Evan is, if I get a Fusion IQ swing away, which the price of that unit from memory is like $2,650, I would get $2,000. And that's exactly right, Evan. So you would pay $2,650 for the press. You're going to have to pay the full purchase price of the machine. You can't buy it in a package or combined with any other deal or any discount. Just add the machine to your cart. You can add accessories at full price if you want, but we'll take the purchase price of that machine. In that case, is $2,650, and you max out at $2,000 in custom transfer credit. $2,000 would be applied to your account the day after that heat press ships. And Deanna says, including the IQ 360. Well, Deanna, would I have one in the shot if it didn't include it? Absolutely not. We wouldn't tease you like that. So including the IQ 360, which sells for $1,850. On that purchase, you wouldn't get $2,000. You would get the equal amount. You would get $1,850 exactly in transfer credit. So let's take some of these reactions. Cynthia says, "What?" If I can do that accurate.
What? I said the same thing.
Todd says, "Time to upgrade to that dual fusion." That's right. Yeah. Especially if you're buying transfers already, guys, it is a no-brainer. I'll explain to you why we're doing this deal in a second. But for those of you that are just like tried and true Transfer Express customers and you're buying over that $2,000 in transfers a year, like now is the time. Ken says, amazingly awesome deal. Shelby says, heat press only, right? Does not include the Pro Play. So for clarity, it includes the integrated dual air fusion IQ with Pro Place, which is $9,995 price. But if you already own the Fusion IQ, you couldn't get this deal just on the retro Pro Place edition. So no accessories, no caddies, no Pro Places, no platins, only on the actual machine itself. That's a legit deal. That's right. I'd love a dual. Wow, this is so generous. So pretty awesome. Lots of good comments and feedback on transfer types. We'll address those towards the end of the broadcast. Good feedback. People wanting products back. Great deal. Awesome. So lots of comments to that, but I want to make sure we get through to the question. So just to be clear, this is a deal that's only available through Transfer Express. And I should clarify, like our emblems and patches that are sold on stalls, you can't take your Transfer Express credit and apply it to a stalls.com purchase. So the credit has to be redeemed and only redeemed on custom transfers from Transfer Express, which includes all those transfer types Dave mentioned, Ultracolor Max, Goof Proof, Elastic Prints, Reflective, et cetera, but can't be used for like other accessories or redeeming on stock vinyl or any purchases on our sister company websites. And yeah, Chris, now is the time to pull the trigger on upgrading the press. And so as we, and here it is, right? This is what we all said. Bethany says, I'm already spending $2,000 on transfer, so I might as well throw that towards the press and get the discount on a new press. 100% right. And that's why we're doing the deal is like, hey, we visit a lot of shops, Dave, you and I, we talk to a lot of customers at trade shows. There are a lot of machines that you have made your money on them is the reality. You've got your return on that investment, and perhaps you're dealing with some things on that machine and because it's been running for quite some time and you really need to move into a new and updated machine. So this is a perfect time to retire that old press or tuck it back in the closet or in the back room as a backup press. It still works. It's still good. And put a nice, shiny, brand new Hotronix heat press on that counter and make your life a little easier. So that's one reason we're running the deal for sure.
Absolutely. And it's just seeing the difference that like switching from, say, one of those budget presses makes to a Hotronix press, right? You now have the interchangeable platins. If you didn't have a Hotronix press before, you have interchangeable platins now. You have the threadability, say, on like the Fusion model, right? Where you have that cantilever design where you could easily load shirts on and off, and you could accurately see those print locations. So not only are you going to speed up the efficiency when you're printing, I know I love having more time in my day, but now you could have expanded capabilities and reduce those misprints if you want to get the tag-along platen, right? There usually is one hanging out here in the studio, but I don't have one. But yeah, the leg and sleeve, there's just so many different options that are going to eliminate so many headaches that a lot of decorators do run into. And now's the time. Yeah, if you're buying the $2,000 in transfers in a year, say anyway, you're essentially getting a free press. I'm sure accounting doesn't want me to actually say free heat press. But if you're spending the money with Transfer Express or even on custom transfers, DTF transfers from somewhere else, now you have $2,000 for Ultracolor Max transfers, which I've seen tons of DTF transfers. And I absolutely think DTF is the best, if not one of the best on the market in terms of hand feel, the capabilities, the detail that you could get on it too. I don't know if you guys have seen the halftone stuff that we're doing, but like that level of detail I've showed to people with DTF printers to go, how, right? We can't get close to this. So knowing that you have the capabilities to use my favorite, the Goof Proof transfers, right? Ultracolor Pro or Stretch for when you need that, dye blocking or printing on nylon capabilities with that full color art. There's just so many transfers out there that you could use for your business, even if you're trying to scale that heat press department and really kind of bring more print on demand with heat transfers into your business. This is the way to do it. And now you have up to a $2,000 kind of runway in free transfers, and you get a top of the line state-of-the-art heat press, brand new shiny heat press to bring into your shop too.
Yeah, and just looking at some of the feedback on what people are thinking about, Kim says, I don't need another one. I already have 4, but I'm tempted to replace one. So replace one. And then here's something I said, which could be kind of fun. Like, think about the reason people would want this. Like, how about one of the pink craft presses, right? You may not need the $2,000 value, but you may want, a pink craft press or a travel press that you can take out to events to open up another revenue generating opportunity for you. Or what I said is, look, if you're in an owner operator business, many of us have kids, whether they're still at home or off to college, but what better gift this Christmas than a shiny little heat press sitting underneath the tree to give the gift of t-shirt printing to another generation. And so, or even to a school. And so there are opportunities, like if you're already going to spend the money with Transfer Express, or even better yet, if you're buying from another transfer company and this is what you needed to move over and give the best heat transfer manufacturer in the industry a legitimate shot at your business, this is a great way to really try that product and get into the product. And yeah, what's better than 2? 3 heat presses. That's for sure. I can agree there, Deanna. So yeah, and a dedicated 11 by 15 might be on the table now. And Craig, that's something else. We got the question, and I'll never find it back in the chat. Is what units is this compatible with? So in just a couple minutes, I'll pull up a unit list, and you can see all of the units it's compatible with and the credit chart. So I'll do that just a moment, but certainly it's good on our 11 by 15. Also, our little 6 by 6 label press for doing neck labels and sleeves is awesome. And Greg, this your credit amount can apply to multiple purchases during the time frame. So you don't need to place one big order of transfers. We want you to really use this as you want to use it. And so if you place, let's just say 10 $50 orders, it can be spread out and applied to every single order you place until the money that you've accrued through your product credit based on your heat press is depleted. So there are absolutely no ahas and no catches here, other than we'll only let you buy one heat press. You go and it's a really good deal at the grocery store. It's limit 1 per customer. And that's the same case here. You can't stack up, 10 heat presses and start selling them on eBay and get this deal. 1 heat press per account is what we're offering this on, as a way to kind of stimulate some sales in your business and get you with the latest heat press equipment that you've been dreaming of, which does include the 360 IQ. And somebody mentioned earlier when I was on a call with our sales team talking about this deal, they're like, hey, what's better than 1 360 IQ is 2, because you can absolutely reduce your time in half by running 2 units side by side in a very small countertop footprint. So even if you already own a 360 IQ, that's a great way to do it. And most of our customers that are doing t-shirts are spending much more than $2,000 a year on transfers, or maybe you're splitting your purchases across many different companies. And here's a way you can consolidate your transfer purchases through one vendor, the best vendor, get all those conveniences, and effectively get a lot of product for free or at a great deal. So yes, includes the 360 IQ. We have a lot of you eyeing up the 360 IQ. So just to repeat what the deal is, because I know some have logged in late, we'll keep it short and abridged. Dave, you want to go to keep it tight and articulate on this deal?
Absolutely, yeah. So essentially, with any heat transfer purchase at Transfer Express, you could get up to $2,000 of free transfer credit added to your account, right? So the autoclam here that I have right with me, one of my favorite Hotronix heat presses, $1,950 will get added to your Transfer Express account once this leaves the facility on the way to you. So once it ships, we'll add the transfer credits to your account. Absolutely crazy, incredible deal, right? And that applies to the entire heat press lineup at transferexpress.com. From the craft press, you can kind of see the little pink handle right here, the 9x12 craft press, $375 added to your Transfer Express account. The IQ 360, like we see behind Josh, right? $1,850 added to your account to be used on custom heat transfers, DTF transfers, hybrid transfers like Ultracolor Pro, screen print transfers like Goof Proof or Hot Split, Elastiprints, even the puff ink transfers, and reflective transfers. So there's a ton of different transfer types on there. There's even full color stickers as well. So if you need to place a sticker or a any kind of graphic vinyl order, you absolutely could through the EasyView Online Designer. And so any of those custom artwork orders will be able to use those product credits. Those product credits are going to stay on your account until they're completely used, or the end of May 2025. And you could use them over the span of 100 purchases, or if you're ordering a huge bulk run, you could order it all at once. But they'll be automatically applied to any custom order transfer that's going to be going through your account at transferexpress.com all the way until you use them. So it is an absolutely incredible deal. I don't know how their accounting is letting us do this.
Yeah, so you're seeing on the screen the heat press list, right, and the prices?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, perfect. I just wanted to share this with everybody because what presses does it apply to? This illustrates it really nicely. If you buy a machine that costs more than $2,000, let's take this Fusion IQ, for example, you're going to get $2,000 in product credit, right? If you buy a machine that's less than $2,000, you will get an exact match. So want to go with an A to Z swing away press for $800, great little travel press, backup press. You're going to get $800 in product credit. Again, pretty much every unit that we sell on transferexpress.com, it's a heat press, nothing special you have to do other than check out between now and the end of September on the website. And I do have to say this, we say while supplies last. We have allocated a certain number of machines and a certain amount of product credit specifically for this deal. We intend that to be enough to go through the end of September, but depending on the popularity of it, it may not. And so I just want to make that clear. Don't delay. It's for the allocation that we've set aside for this marketing program, really, to allow you to test our transfers. And yeah, you can definitely order Ultracolor Max from Transfer Express. And this is what we were worried about, Rico. It is no scam, right? And so you see offers like this and you're like, no way, right? And it feels kind of like a little slimy or where's the gotcha? I promise you, Dave and I have been with stalls for a long time, and you know us, this is no scam. This is absolutely legit, for real, the best deal that's ever been done that I know of in the industry. Purchase a heat press and get custom heat transfer product credit up to $2,000 with the deal ending September 30th and the purchase date having to be between today, August 28th, and September 30th. And that pink craft press is cute, isn't it? It's a great way to take a travel press. It looks great at events. Have some friends here that print with it at dance recitals. It's a great little travel machine. Oh, you moved your camera, Dave. Backstage, behind the scenes.
Oh, sorry for the mess.
That's all right. All good.
Yeah, just trying to show how light this thing is too. So when we talk about travel presses, right, it's, pretty incredible. I'm moving the camera again, but now you can see the 360 over there. We just have some wires crossing over here. So look at that. But yeah, the pink craft press, super lightweight, easy to take pretty much anywhere. I could lift it with one hand, but I might be strong. Anybody could carry it around. Perfect travel press. And 9x12 fits the vast majority of shirts that I feel like I'm printing these days.
Yep, and you don't have to give your credit card number to anybody, but thank you for being so on. Just go to transferexpress.com. You'll see it featured right on the website. Eventually, we'll have to put in your credit card number, but that's the cool thing about this deal is we expect a lot of interest, and so we've set it up. You don't have to ask for it. It's automatic. Just purchase the heat press, put it in the cart at full list price. Make sure you don't purchase a package. Go with the heat press because it can't be at a discounted value, and the deal will apply. And thank you to our team. They're sharing links everywhere you're watching live streams to where you can find the deal, but it's just transferexpress.com. We have some other questions. So I think we've articulated the deal. Thanks for all of you that have come live to hear this exciting news. At this point, I think we'll share the deal a couple more times throughout the broadcast. We're going to stay with you for another 20 minutes, but we're going to go through and answer some detailed questions. So if you have to get back to work or lunch or pressing that job of shirts, you've heard all the details on the deal. Feel free to stay on. Feel free to ask questions. But I don't want it to become redundant for you as we're repeating it back and forth. So let's take some questions, Dave. So Dana asks, is Tagalong Platinum compatible with the 360 IQ?
So the Tagalong Platinum is compatible with any 16 by 20 Hotronix press manufactured after 2014 is when they went to the interchangeable Platinum system with the quick change. I don't know if you could kind of see that. Oh, you kind of can. Right here, we do have the lever. So if your press has this lever, you could take the Tagalong Platinum. But I believe you said the 360 is a cap press only. So the Tagalong would have to be used with the full-size Fusion IQ, or say like an autoclam with the full 16 by 20 platen area and heating element. Otherwise, that tag is going to be out of the way.
Yep, and Evan asked, you will have to pay shipping and any extra things that are in the cart. So your product credit will only go back to the machine. So again, like let's just say the 360, it's $1,850, and I don't know, it might cost $50 to $100 to ship it, something like that. You won't get credit for the $50 to $100. You'll get the $1,850 of the machine price and product credit.
Yep.
And yes, the Tagalong Platinum is compatible, and I think this is what Dana meant with the question. It was just a typo. With the Fusion IQ, absolutely.
Yes, 100%.
Special runs to the end of September. We shared the Dream Deal credit chart, all the places you're watching. IQ 360, here we go. Hey, some of you may be like what press should I get and why? And we're going to talk about that in just a moment. Dave and I are going to share some of our favorite presses, how they work, and why you should really go with brand Hotronix if you don't already know that. So stick around for that. This will not apply to heat press packages. Very important that it's on the full price of the heat press in your cart, and no promo code needed, Laura. It's automatically applied in your cart. And yeah, some exciting news. AquaTrue water-based screen print transfers are back. Haven't even announced it yet. Just announced it on this live. That happened this morning. We'll share more details about that, but look for AquaTrue on Transfer Express. You can certainly redeem your product credits on that really cool water-based transfer.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, the DTF transfers are the same between Stalls and Transfer Express, and not extended to packs. Thanks, Scotty, for hopping in the chat and helping us here.
Yeah, you were mentioning those packages too, and I do want to mention that you may have seen an offer going around if you're looking at an autoclam. I know I'm always looking at the autoclam, but there is the special going on right now still at stalls.com that includes the free stand. So if you're ordering from Transfer Express and getting these account credits back, you won't be getting a free stand. That promo ended yesterday at Transfer Express. But I personally will absolutely take the $1,950 of account credit on free transfers versus the $550 stand, which also it was the second best deal until this one came along.
Yeah. And I like this question from Matthew. I get what it's getting at. We're going to try to do math live, which is always a dangerous thing, Dave. So I think what Matthew's trying to get at, like, hey, what does 2,000 in product credit really get you from a quantity of transfers? And he said for his example, like a one color puff print perhaps of a typical front design for a shirt and like a transfer. So how many transfers do you think, how many shirts can we make with $2,000 worth of transfers? Let's start there.
So of course it depends on the variables, the different colors in the design or the size of the design. If we're pricing, say, for DTF transfer, right? I was just pricing out a job earlier this morning and got down to $1.19 for an entire gang sheet of goof-proof screen printed transfers, right? And so you're talking just a little bit under 2,000 transfers, which would be full front shirts or maybe a left chest and a back location. Say I'm doing left chest on polos, performance wear, and I'm going to spend all of my credits on that performance wear and Ultra Color Max DTF transfers. Those are what, maybe 20 cents a transfer. So we're talking, yeah. I'm very bad at math. That's why I print t-shirts.
That's all right. So I would say, no, I think it's good. I think like you should target somewhere between 500 and 2,000 items that you can print with transfers. And that'll vary depending on size of design, quantity ordered, number of colors, a lot of factors. But I think with $2,000, you should be able to print a minimum of 500 items very easily with a typical transfer. And I'd say, depending on how much you're ordering, could be 2,000 items. So you'll get payback on the investment for sure. So lots of products you can print. Chris has one in the cart. Just click checkout. And Ultra Color Max from Transfer Express ships out of Ohio and also a bit out of Pennsylvania and Arizona. So for the most case, we ship from the same places, except like Transfer Express brand ships out of Ohio, whereas Stahl's brand does not. Stahl's brand ships out of Michigan, whereas Transfer Express does not. So we have some shared manufacturing facilities. And the credit does expire, but not for a long time. It's May 30th, 2025. So hopefully 8 months or so is enough time to be able to fully utilize all that product credit. And trust me, we will be reminding you to use it because we want you to use it and use the transfers and make money on this deal. Yeah, and it's a lot of transfers. Yeah, and that's right. And that's great. Yeah, I didn't even think about this, Linda. That's a great point. A business expense for equipment, right? And so think of some of the tax write-off potentials because you are paying full list price for the equipment and then get the transfer credit. So there's definitely some tax advantages. I'm not a tax expert, but speak with your accountant. I'm sure there's some huge advantages there. And yeah, great comments coming through. Okay. So keep the comments coming through. We'll jump back in a moment to answer some of these questions. But before we do that, what I want to do is just like talk through the basics of heat presses, Dave. Like if, and you may do this, but like, what are your top 3 picks as an apparel decorator? If this is your business, some people already know what heat press they want. They've had their eye on it and they're just going to jump. But for those that are like, I really want to take advantage of this, but maybe I don't know what heat press I need to invest in for my business. Like, what are your top 3 heat presses that you would prioritize for an apparel decorating business if this is you spending the money?
So if you know me at all, of course, the auto clam is going to be my #1 pick for quite a few different reasons, right? So you have an automatic heat press that essentially has a magnet on top that will unlock it, allowing you to never over apply a transfer again, right? And also the efficiency of being hands-free, doing other things. Now appeal the transfer and pull the shirt off the press, ready to load on another one. So especially for any volume, whether you're doing just 1s and 2s, fulfilling for your, an e-commerce store or an Etsy shop or something like that, or doing bulk runs, it really is suitable and very easy to print on for almost anybody or any business. A lot of shops love the space-saving design too. So whether you're just running out of your home, spare office, or maybe you don't have a lot of more production room in your print shop. I know the shops that I visit, that's like the #1 thing. Like, man, we're running out of room here, right? So being able to add a high-capacity, semi-automatic heat press in your shop for about a 1 foot by 2 foot kind of footprint that it's going to fit on. It does have the interchangeable platens, so you could swap these out to any other platen that's available by Hottronics. And this is probably a good time to point out that coupled with the caddy stand, it is wheelable. We could wheel it around fairly easily. I'm over carpet, so it's not the easiest, but it also allows it to be 100% fully threadable then for easy loading, unloading, and really isolating the print area. I love following the side of the platen to make sure the shirt is loaded on straight. So the dual stage timer, accurate time, temperature, and pressure. And pressure is the biggest thing here. I don't know if you can see it on screen, but the auto clam is one of the, I think, the most inexpensive heat presses that does have an accurate digital pressure readout right there. So I know right there, I was at a 6 on pressure. Perfect for putting a shirt on there and printing a goof-proof transfer, right? So it allows you to take the guesswork out, and that allows decorators to have less frustration printing because #1, you could diagnose a too little or too high a pressure issue. Say you're scorching polyester garments. Why am I scorching it? I know that this heat is not at that threshold that's going to ruin this garment. Your pressure may be too high and leaving that press box on there, right? Instead of trying to figure it out based on feel using the pressure knob over the top, I could instantly see it right on the back of the press. So completely removes that. I did mention the over the pressure or over the center pressure adjustment. And that's one thing that you see typical on a lot of other brands of clamshell style heat presses like this, where the pressure adjustment knob is on the back of the press back here, right? So when it's on the back of the press, you start to get a pinch point in the back. So if you're doing sublimation or anything on your press, it's moving your transfer right when you're putting it down, because the back's contacting on that. With this patented design by Hottronics, you do have this floating platen. So number one, it has a little bit of wiggle to it, right? But right before, so right here, right before it actually contacts the lower platen, you can see I have a little bit more room to go. Right before it contacts it, it lays completely flat. So it kind of like hovers over and then contacts the entire surface area all at once. And with the over the center pressure adjustment, you're not increasing the pressure on the back of the press before you're increasing it at the front. Because it's over the center and only connected there in the middle, it's firm, even pressure, edge to edge. So if you want to print a 15.5 by 19.5 graphic and just totally max out the front of the shirt, you absolutely can. And with that patented cast-in heating element at Hottronics and the 3/4 inch heating element, it stays hot and there's no cold spots. So you have nice even heat across the entire surface area. And because of the thickness and the heating element actually inside, instead of just sitting on top on the back side of this block of steel aluminum, that you have very little temperature fluctuations, whether you're printing one shirt or whether you're printing 300. I think the maximum I've ever done on this press was about 300 shirts. And I think there was somebody just doing it in the Heat Press for Profit group a couple weeks ago that made light work, just a couple hours for doing huge bulk runs. Coupled with screen print transfers, right? I come from a plastisol screen printing background. That 4 seconds with a transfer is just as fast as pulling a squeegee. So when somebody says, well, heat transfers aren't for bulk quantity, I don't think you've used the right screen printed transfers like Inktra from Stalls, or the Goof Proof transfers from Transfer Express that are super quick. So I could talk about the autoclam all day, right? The second press that I go
wait. You got to breathe. You got to give me room to throw in some questions here because we got them coming in for you. So 110 or 220 volts for home use.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really the spirit of the question is what's the difference between 110, 220 volt? Not sure which to order. This will plug in at home. So Tyra, I recommend the 110 volt 99% of the time. For most shops, that's the top one, unless you're in like a commercial shop and running like the dual machine. So any of the autoclams come standard in the 110 volt. You do want to make sure you dedicate, if you can, you need to make sure that you dedicate a 20 amp circuit. It pulls 14.5 amps, but a 20 amp circuit, plug that machine straight into the wall. Your machine's on an extension cord today that's not the correct gauge. Unplug it, get it plugged straight into the wall, not through a circuit breaker. All of these Stalls machines are UL and CE certified, so they are safe. The autoclam has a 2-hour auto shut off if it's not in use. The right power cable comes with it to plug it into the wall, but 110 volt to answer your question. Also, we had another question. I think we answered this in the chat, but just for the benefit of everybody, if you were to get the autoclam like Dave recommends, and you add the caddy, and let's say you add a couple interchangeable platens, just note that the product credit for this deal that we've announced will only apply to the price of the autoclam. That doesn't mean you shouldn't buy those other things because they're really important to the investment and making the maximum use of the machine. But with this deal, the product credit will apply to the machine, and that way you'll be able to use that on custom transfers and offset the cost of that whole investment. Beth definitely supports it. So I'm going to, you did number one, Dave. So let me give you my number one real quick before you jump to number two. If I had this product credit, I would really want to use every dollar, right? They say when you're getting a match, so to speak, I guess you can kind of call this a match. When you're getting a match, you want to maximize every dollar. So I'm going to look to get every dollar out of Stalls Transfer Express on this deal. And I'm probably going to just go ahead and jump into an air model machine that I've had my eye on. And so I agree with Beth, who loves her Air Fusion IQ and says the investment is worth it. Like you can get, if you have an autoclam on a counter stand today, or you have a Fusion, Fusion's a great example. A lot of our customers have manual Fusions, right? Love the press. You should definitely jump into one. It's a huge upgrade over a lot of things in the market. But the reality is you still have to swing it away, swing it back, lock it down, and open it. So it's 4 steps for your arm, your shoulder, and your back to make that. And it has all the manual pressure adjustment, but with the digital readout. And so by jumping into an air model, if you get the countertop, the price for the tabletop Air Fusion is $46.50. You'll actually be able to get the full $2,000 product credit in transfers. You made that $4,650 investment, and now I'm at a full air operated machine with all the interchangeable platens, power platen compatible for lower heat to allow me to grow into other product categories. I'm just going to maximize that money and probably go with the manual fusion, the air fusion, or you know what? Let's go with the Cadillac and let's go with the dual air fusion with the ProPlace IQ. So were any of those units on your list, or were you going another direction?
I was going to go to the dual air fusion. I've been in a lot of commercial shops lately, and where I was like, man, this thing it's especially for high volume, there is no other press that could keep up with the capabilities, especially now coupled with the ProPlace. But I don't go to the gym often, so I kind of use the autoclam as my workout sometimes, pulling it down and seeing these higher volume shops that the operators and just hearing, you know, the guys working on the floor every single day be like, this has changed my level of happiness, just being able to push the two buttons and operate at a higher capacity, say with like the dual, right? Twice the amount of platens, you're essentially operating two presses in one, where their production does not go down, their production goes up, they print faster, and with way less fatigue by just pushing the two buttons, where then it's fully automatic. It's coming down, it's moving up, and even shuttling to the other location. So I know I've been hands-on with the ProPlace IQ, probably, I don't know, a lot of hours in the past couple weeks in shops and in studio. And that press is just, I think you called it the Cadillac, right? It is, I don't like necessarily the Cadillac. It's totally the Cadillac, right? But I think it's like the F-150, right? It is this absolute workhorse. It's absolute luxury, but I don't know if you've been in a newer F-150. Man, those things are plush. So it's really nice to use, but it is also an absolute workhorse. That's going to be the heartbeat of your decorating business.
Yeah, no, I definitely think so. So ProPlace, the whole system with the dual, I agree. What they say, happy cows produce more milk. So happy heat press operators produce more shirts, and the dual base system with just how that press functions certainly makes it possible. And just as we work to wrap up, we'll restate the deal one more time. I'm curious, what was third on your list? And I'll share what's third on mine.
It's the heat press sitting right behind you.
Yeah, so I thought it might be, and that's going to jive with what I have here for my recommendation. Actually, this is number 2 on my list, is the 360 IQ. Why? Because look, if you already have one, it's going to double your output. You already know what it does, and it's a great investment. And then also, if you don't have one, this is you have one as well. This is going to open up a whole new product category for you that is headwear decoration with dimensional logos. So being able to do patches like this, 3D embroidery. This is heat applied, guys. It looks like it was picked out of a retail store. That's a heat applied patch that I decorated on this cap. And the reason we're able to do that without damaging this acrylic cap is because we have the top and bottom heat together. Want to do PVC patches? This was done at one of our Heat Press Pro Days, which is our traveling seminar, right on that machine. And so while you can't buy the patches at Transfer Express and redeem your product credit, you can still buy your heat press at Transfer Express, apply DTF transfers with it, apply goof proof with it, apply all different types of transfer types with it. And then just make sure you set up an account with Stalls as well. And you won't be able to redeem your product credit there, but you can buy all the emblems and patches and everything you want to be able to fully run that 360 IQ. The price on that machine is only $1,850. So while you leave $150 on the table, you'll get a full match in product transfer credit on that $1,850.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I know the decorators that I've talked to from, coast to coast, North Carolina to California, this year. And if anybody's out there printing headwear, you probably know this huge surge in popularity, although they're always popular, the foam front trucker caps, right? So traditionally, you're not embroidering on those because they kind of pucker up and they look, I don't know, just bunchy, right? So you see screen printing traditionally done on it. And this makes it so super easy because that foam front, right? If you have a traditional cap press that you're using DTF transfers on, you'll notice you're going to get that crease right along the crown of the cap, right? And it really ruins that nice kind of more premium look of a printed trucker cap, right? Now with the 360, with the rounded backside platen shape here, you don't have any of that creasing on those. Effortlessly print those screen print transfers, right? Or DTF transfers. We just did a video a couple weeks ago on printing a whole bunch of DTF transfers on those foam front trucker caps that we're seeing so many decorators out there doing. So shout it out if you've seen a huge increase in those trucker caps too.
Well, yeah, and I'm going to answer the question from Dustin coming in from LinkedIn in just one moment, Dustin. But let's stick on that example for a second. Like, to decorate a foam front trucker, like, what are we at? Like, let's just say for easy math, it's a 2x3 inch DTF print, maybe 2x4 inch DTF print, right? So you're talking about 8 square inches. With Transfer Express Ultra Color Max transfers for 8 square inches, the most money you're going to be paying is 54 cents. And if you're doing at least 25 of them, you're going to save on that, right? And so, now we're making a lot of hats and a lot of transfers for that spend. So yeah, you can sell a lot of foam front truckers with this deal and the 360 IQ. But once you're ready to expand past just normal transfers and DTF transfers on hats, which is a good revenue center, set up an account with the Transfer Express sister company, stalls.com. You cannot redeem your product credit there, but you can absolutely buy the patches like I just showed on screen, which would be the 3D embroidered patches, PVC patches, leather patches. There's a whole bunch. There's like 12 styles. I'll never remember them off the top of my head, but there's a whole assortment, and you can request free samples online from the Stalls website, from the Transfer Express website. And yeah, do yourself a favor. And if you invest in the autoclam we talked about 5 minutes ago, like Craig says, order the Caddy, makes it worth it to be able to thread that garment on. And the Fusion family is threadable out of the box, which includes the Fusion IQ, the Air Fusion, the Dual Air Fusion, anything in the Fusion family is threadable out of the box, but everything else requires the counterstop stand. Dave, this has been a blast, man. I think we're just past 45 minutes. I want to try to keep it to 45 minutes today because I'm guessing the email and the phone lines are lighting up for our team. But if you have questions about this deal, we're going to keep an eye on this chat wherever you're watching from. Our team will. So make sure you ask your questions. Many of you are going to watch this afterwards, but Hotronics is the best built machine on the market. Not only are they feature rich, but they are also highly durable. And we back that up with a lifetime warranty on the heating element on any of the Hotronics machines, a 5-year warranty on the major parts and components, and a 3-year warranty on the control board. And what we find is machines, especially the autoclam, last much longer than 5 years. Actually, I bought one personally for my side hustle, and I think it was 2016 or 14. Let's say 2014. I used it for 8 years. And then a couple years ago, I'm like, man, work's too busy. And I don't feel like coming home and heat pressing shirts because I deal with shirts all day at work and helping you all press shirts. And so I was able to sell that thing for just short of $1,000 bucks. So not only do they have a long life, they hold their value. So perhaps you can buy a heat press, get the product credit, and then take the press that you have, especially if it's a Hotronics, and sell it used out into the market to get somebody else started. So yeah, so exciting stuff. Go back, look at the link, watch the full video. We'll be getting the word out, and we'll be setting you up with a heat press at the best deal ever on something that's going to last you 7, 10, 15, 20 years and help you grow your business. Any final thoughts, Dave, before we wrap this baby up?
I had one question. So I went through my 3 presses. What would be your 3rd press on the list?
So just to be different than you, if you're asking me, it would definitely be the dual with Pro Place, of course. Like I would have went Air Fusion, 360 IQ, and then dual with Pro Place. But just to illustrate a different point of something that someone may not be thinking about, you know, I love the A to Z press. It's it's not as light as the pink press beside you, but it's pretty darn close, and you get a full 15 by 15 printing zone. And it's a swing away heat press. And so I think it's very fair on price for $800. And it's a great little travel press to have in your shop that you can easily throw into the back of any trunk and it'll fit there and be able to take it on the road and make heat printing at events a big revenue center for you. Okay,
Awesome pick.
All right, so check out the details, everything. Our team will link it again one last time. You can find it on the Transfer Express website. Don't need to talk to anybody, but we certainly welcome your call if you need help picking the right press for you. Call us, ask any questions, watch our videos, subscribe to the channel. We're here to help, but for now, we have to log off to help get these heat press orders processed. So thanks for watching, everybody. We appreciate you.